This lecture we are going to discuss Mbed SDK, software development, and Mbed HDK, that's the hardware. So whenever we talk about the embedded system platform or Internet of Things platform, which is being used for developing applications, writing programs, building firmware, so we generally have two types of kits, two types of tools available. So the first portion is the SDK, that is the software development. So when we talk about SDK, that means we are only concerned with writing a program, instructions. Basically, we are just making the firmware, the software part for the complete project or the product. So if we look at the Mbed SDK, it is basically a C++ microcontroller software platform relied upon by tens of thousands of developers to build the projects fast. So, for example, uh, if you talk about Arduino, and Arduino ID is also an SDK where you get to write the program, get to build the code, creating and testing startup code, C runtime libraries, peripheral APIs have already been taken care of by the creators of ML platform. So we as the developers only have to worry about the coding and implementing the application. So this point I discussed earlier also, it provides a good enough abstraction level so that we don't have to worry about the core microcontroller registers or the architecture. We have readily available libraries and API so that we can immediately start coding and writing our application. So this Mbed SDK has been designed to provide enough hardware abstraction, but it is powerful enough to build complex projects. So it has a good level of abstraction, but it doesn't mean that you won't be able to do each and everything with this. You can choose the level of hardware abstraction level. If you want a complete abstraction level, you can go for that. So you can only work with the APIs and libraries. However, it also gives you an API driven approach to microcontroller coding. Then coding can be done using meaningful abstract objects and API calls, thereby not requiring to learn the microcontroller hardware details to get to it. You don't have to learn about the registers and the architecture. But again, as I already mentioned, this is just one of the options that you can consider. If you want to go deep into the microcontroller architecture, know about its register set, and work at the core level, then you can do that as well. You can bypass the APIs entirely and directly talk to the microcontroller hardware. So for that we have something called as CIMSIS, CMSIS, that is the Software Interface Standard APIs. So this is ideally used when specific aspects of the projects they require particular low-level control. We are not satisfied with only the APIs, we want to go deeper into the hardware, or you want to control a particular aspect of your microcontroller, then yes, you can bypass the APIs and directly talk to the microcontroller on a lower level. Coming to the Mbed HDK now, so what exactly does hardware mean? So as I said, whenever we talk about embedded systems and Internet of Things, since this platform is basically based towards IoT systems. So whatever project, prototype or product we are going to build, we will have a combination of software as well as hardware. We will require some sort of program and of course we are going to require hardware. So the software part has been taken care of by the SD. Now the hardware part is taken care by the HDK, that is the hardware development kit. So what is it basically? So it's a collection of hardware design resources that have been gathered, assist in the development of custom hardware benefiting from the Mbed ecosystem, such as Mbed OS, Mbed SDK, etc. So when we talk about a custom hardware, it means like you have seen different kinds of boards. You have seen Arduino board, or even when you were exploring the components database of Mbed OS platform, we saw several tools. So they have been already designed by the developers and the manufacturers. But you can also create your own tools. You can have different components in that code. You can create a layout. You can create the schematic, just like the manufactured tools. So the HDK kit provides all the resources so that you can design your own hardware instead of actually relying on a particular or a specific manufacturer, right? So in this way, if you are making your own product or making your own prototype, HDK is very useful because it will allow you to only have those components whichever are needed for the project. So you don't have to unnecessarily use other components also which are a part of the board. For example, if you have a board that has 40 input output pins available and it has a variety of sensors which actually you do not require for your project, then of course if you use that board, a lot of portion will be wasted. You are not actually utilizing that board completely. So instead of that, you can custom develop your own board and you can only use the number of pins that you require for the components and sensors or actuators that you require for implementing your application. So for that, HDK is very useful.